Welcome to the Redvee TV Instant Reaction, supported by Chapel House for the 2023 season, as we look back on St Helens' 28 points to 6 victory over the Warrington Wolves this evening. Stuart Broad, Kerry Katona, Stuart Pearce, you're an honorary one. Your boys took a hell of a beating. The year of the wire, their greatest ever year, and Saints suffering with everyone in the world injured, including us three. Still turned on a show. We're only, 2 losses behind them?
Hell of an intro to start us off, Dave, to be fair, but not to count our chickens too soon, but a faultless performance, really, though. There's not like last week's hit piece on our second 9, I will say, from Redvee TV. Just get that in early.
This is the Lussick fan club, by the way. He was desperate to come on to defend him, even though he said he played well last week.
Somebody has to. I did watch the rest of the show, and he did give him fair. He did speed us up, but again, kicking was enjoyable tonight. I saw us take the ball a lot more to Lomax rather than Dodd. I saw that was enjoyable for just having that varied play. But yeah, as I say, Delaney, great performance, great running, hardly a fault in. Well, there was fault in none of the team, to be fair. There wasn't anything we could call from that, and I think it was the last thing nearly all of us were expecting with that performance. It was superb.
I think tonight we're going to spend the next 15 minutes just saying everyone was brilliant. Now, obviously, in the build-up, Mark Percival's going to be out for a few weeks for a hamstring injury, but Joe Batchelor's come in second row. And I can't believe he played so long. He was solid. He solidified that right-hand side. It helped Harrell out, as did T. Ritson on that side as well.
Yeah, I think the likes of T. Ritson, big raps, he makes the pitch wider, he makes teams think about defence a little bit more. Saying to a team that probably play D in 2/3 of a pitch, and we've been attacking in 2/3 of a pitch for the last 6 or 7 weeks, and Wello said that last week at Hull KR, we've probably moved the ball left to right to left better, and we've done that tonight with T. Ritson on one wing and Benno on the other, and both of them have got some joy with tries. I'm made up for T getting that last try, because I came here to watch a reserve game a couple of weeks ago and he didn't look interested, if I'm honest, because he's playing reserve grade rugby. He's played Super League against the top of the league, supposedly, and stood out for me. I think his tackle in that first half epitomised I think our whole team performance. I think he proved he belongs at this level. You talk about 1 to 13 being outstanding, or 1 to 15 because we had 2 unused subs. I can't believe we've done that with 15 players, if I'm honest, because Baxter and Bruins didn't even get on. So massive raps to the boys that were on the pitch. The likes of Batsy coming back in. I mean, he looked gassed after 5 minutes, but he carried on, kept getting in the line, kept defending. James Bell, in my opinion, deserves big raps. I thought he was absolutely unplayable. Thought he was outstanding. I thought Connie was, again. I mean, people have said this morning that Connie was an umming and ahhing, and that's why Bruins was in the 17. If he's carrying an injury,
that's just a really bad source.
Well, but if he's carrying an injury, mate, what can he do when he's not got an injury? He was unbelievable again, I think. And like you say, yeah, all of them are great. I think Shaky mentioned about George, and it makes me think. It makes me wonder about, well, why did we only give him 5 or 10 minutes last week? Why didn't he play a little bit more? Because he can do it. Look, he's 19 years old, mate. He is going to be one of the best prop forwards that's ever played this game.
Imagine when he fills out. Now, I want to go back to T. Ritson. We've always known, just from the highlight reels, what he's able to do with ball in hand, going forward in attack. When we say there was question marks of whether he can defend or not, I just think it's because nobody's actually ever had a chance to see it. He was absolutely faultless tonight.
I think there's a difference from coming from the lower leagues and coming up to Super League. There's always that massive jump, and everybody's automatically going to assume that that's going to be the biggest problem for him, which for 9 times out of 10 it is. Yeah, but then I think, to be fair, he's took his chances with both hands. He did well when he came on last week against Hull KR, and he's had a superb performance tonight. And it was nice to see speed on both sides. And I think with injuries and being safer, we've missed that a bit this season after Regan Grace losing him last season. You know, it's something we've very much missed, and it was good to see last night. But the problem is they've got golden. Sorry, they got golden.
We haven't been here that long.
Oh, it feels it. We got their golden boot with coming back into the side. One of the best rugby league players going in Tommy Makinson, so they've got that thing to battle with. Whether Benison moves into fullback with moves around this season, depending on injuries, because we did as the rumour mill goes about, Hopewati and Hurrell might be carrying something, but we shall see. But it's the future's bright, certainly.
Yeah, obviously we've talked about T. Ritson on one side, John Benison on the other side as well. Showed good pace, great hands just to take his try as well with the nice little dummy to finish off.
Yeah. Sorry, was that Matt Dafty just going past there trying to catch that dummy? Or sorry.
You've had that planned all night.
Apologies.
I'm looking as well.
Apologies, Warrington fans.
You sold it to me.
Did you fall for it as well?
I went for it.
Reminiscent of
look. Listen. On let's talk about John Benison, our own first. I thought, as per usual, really composed, really confident, really competent, if you like, and did a great stint. Takes the ball in hard. Going back to what we was on about then with Ritson, I think the only thing for me with T, I don't think he probably ran it as hard as he could, but that's not his job. His job's to go across the line and find gaps. Similar to Wellesby. Wellesby went across the line and found loads of gaps today. But yeah, John Benison, I mean, that outrageous dummy, which was brilliant, and Matt Dafty just absolutely fell for it. And if he's top of the Manor League ladder or Manor Steel or whatever it's called, these nonsense things these days, then he needs to have a look at himself, because he's just been absolutely sold a kipper by a 20-year-old lad who is probably a better rugby league player than most of what they've got.
Going on to the pack, Louis and Matty Lees both did big minutes tonight, obviously in the absence, as you said earlier. We've gone with 2 unused subs, so they've had to do big minutes. Matty Lees again, phenomenal in the middle.
Wonderful triangle. You had Louis going off first, and then Matty, and then they just kind of circulated between themselves, and it was good to see. And you question whether, as you say, Batchelor was struggling early doors. It looked like he was breathing, and then certainly before half time, and whatever he's that rest that he's had was certainly done in the world of good, because he's carried on for 32 minutes before he came off, which is unreal, really, coming back from such a long stint off. But yeah, I thought probably Baxter would have come on for him maybe, but then instead Bell moved there, Roby stayed at 13, and Lussick carried on at 9, and it was, as I say, I think I've said it about 20 times already, faultless from the lads, and a great work ethic and energy, superb.
We're about 8 or 9 minutes in, and we haven't actually talked about James Bell. Yeah, 10 minutes in, I'm told. James Bell. I don't know what it is. I don't know how many fingers
13.
That. 13. James Bell. I think that's possibly the best ever game he's had in the Saints shirt.
Yeah, and look, I'll hold my hands up and say that I thought he should have played at 11 or 12, and I thought Jack should have played at 13, because when we were at OKR last week and Jack got in at 13, he got his hands on the ball loads more. But what I seen tonight was Jack getting his hands on the ball loads more from 1. And when you've got Bell to Lewis Dodd to Roby to Jack Wellesby, that's a phenomenal attacking shape, and we created so much. And not like, the thing is with Jack with Bell is he's getting his hands on the ball, but the work he does in D, I'd love to see how many tackles he's made tonight, because he's just always in that middle, always putting his body on the line, always stopping whatever's coming at him, whether it's Cassiano, whether it's Thewlis, whether it's whoever they've got. And mate, for me, he's outstanding. And the thing is that's probably his best position, but he sits behind a player of Morgan Knowles' calibre. So I think Wello's he's got an awful lot to think about after tonight's performance, because
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. But look, let's hold our hands up and say we probably walked into here tonight. The significant majority of us thinking
we'd get beat.
We're gonna. I mean, I looked at their back 7 and I thought that is like a really good top 7, and the optimist in me said the pack's not great, but then the pessimist in me said our pack's probably not great. But do you know what I think? And listen, shout out to the West End. I think from the get-go they were loud, They got the certainly south where I sit. They got us going in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
Did you put your butty away?
no. I can eat and sing at the same time. But I thought the fans were outstanding tonight. I really do. I thought the West Ham was buzzing. Like, you compare that to the last game that we played here, it was flat, it was dead. And look, it's Warrington, and nobody likes Warrington. And I thought we were loud. And look, I hope Wello and the players come out with the same thing. I thought we gave us a little bit extra tonight. The likes of Joey Batch was probably, like Shaky said, he was gassed. But the energy he got from the fans was electric. And I just think, I mean, I think Johnny's got the Sky Man of the match. But how do you choose between Johnny, between Jack, between Connie, between Belly, between...
Yeah, we're going to need a part 2 here.
Well, we can do a part 2.
Right.
I was going to say Royal as well.
Yeah,
because he got some stick last week, or he got a knock early doors, and he was worrying. But again, we said a 1 to 15 faultless, but fair play to the lad. He stood up and he was counted. He was massive in that defensive line, and he made some great runs as well. And that beard's getting stronger by the week as well.
And he took some big shots as well. Actually, he got put on his arse. Sorry, that's not a swear word, is it?
No, you don't get the other card.
He got put on his backside a couple of times.
Just on a charge.
But kept his grade A or grade D. But he kept going, and do you know what? I think he was influential, and I know 1 or 2 people who know Sam pretty well, and he was really disappointed with his performance last week. And tonight he's come out and he said to Wello and to his teammates, look, I can do it. I can. And like, listen, let's go to the basics. You're missing 2 Tommy Mack.
Your missus wants duo.
4 Mark Percival. 8 Alex Walmsley.
Hang on, don't.
11, 12.
Leave my monologue for the end.
You're missing all of those.
Dan, obviously, there's been murmurings about Wello. There's been murmurings about Wello, and we said you've got to give it time. I thought it would take a little bit longer for it to get better, but that was a massive, massive win just to take the critics away.
Wello's got plenty of experience, and he's not going to get overexcited over one game as good as that was.
As you shouldn't get so disappointed when we get beat in a couple.
Yeah, and he's not going to get carried away. And I know a small fraction of the fans have been there, but again, it's time. I remember with Wolf started off, and it was just, this is boring rugby. It's simply defensive, and before that, we were complaining over one of our greatest coaches and greatest teams until Ben Barber came in at that magic weekend, and it seemed to kind of go on a coin toss, and it was Ryan Morgan that cost us a grand final place, which I'm not bitter about still whatsoever.
Oh, so it's the Ryan Morgan hit squad now.
If we're going to pick someone out, it's Ryan Morgan. But yeah, and again with time, Paul's had some great experience. He's worked with the best coaches in the world that's existed in rugby league, some would say, and it's tough to argue with that. And it's time. He's had such a horrendous time with injuries as well. Look at the players we've been missing week in, week out, and since Australia we've missed Joe Batcher, and he's come in there and put a hell of a stint in for him, and it shows how much we missed his quality.
Right, we've gone on long enough. I'm going to leave it with some final thoughts. Mark Percival, Alex Walmsley, Ignatius Parsi, Curtis Sirenan, Morgan Knowles, Sione Matautia, Dan Norman, Tommy Makinson, Ben Davis. Do any of them get back in the team? Let us know in the comments below. And also, how much abuse am I going to get on Facebook for wearing this Aston Villa jumper? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll catch you next week for an episode of Redvee TV. Catch you soon. Up the Saints.